Everybody's all good.
Call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. Please rise and join me in the pledge. United States of America. Roll call.
Jack Bradley.
Here.
Albert Keys. Here. Tom Backers.
Here.
Joanne Childs. Here. Christine Johnson here.
Disclosure of conflicts. Anything on the agenda tonight? I have none. I have none.
I have none.
Approval of the agenda. I've got a couple things, I would like to put, under guest reports and special order of business, basically, supervisor. I do have a lot to relay to the board and the public.
Besides your correspondence. As you, under correspondence, isn't that?
Yeah, correspondence announcements.
Also like to add the quotation for the new John Deere.
What?
New,
To the John Deere? That's actually old business, but I get
Or unfinished.
unfinished. Okay, it'd be item E under number 11.
I have a credit debit card use resolution that I need to present.
That would be new business. Item C. And, your door request. That's in the fire department. Okay. So basically that money is spent. Okay, that's,
we also have some requests for Parks and Rec.
okay, we also have, road improvement agreement. We could put that under, the road, committee report for the, repainting of the crosswalks. So, the turn lane downtown and, the other item would be, crosswalks. We do have a contract to sign or approved. And under planning commission, our new planning commission rep, Dan Packer, has submitted a cover letter and some recommendations for STR, which is currently at the legal being reviewed for its legality. So I provided that so the board can review his suggestions. I want to get the STR with their legal opinion back from Township Legal. We can make any adjustments that might be considered to help adequately enforce any short-term rental ordinance. So anyway, Township Board has a copy of that. And you wait, sir, until we get to public comment. Any other additions, deletions, corrections to the agenda? Hearing none, public comment. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Motion to approve the agenda. Sorry, sir.
Yeah. What's that?
Point of order, motion to approve the agenda.
Second, all in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? The agenda is approved as amended. Okay, now, sir.
Good, thank you. I think you mentioned SDRs. I was at the special meeting on September 25th for the SDR. I haven't seen or read anything regarding that. I just heard you make a comment that it went to legal. I didn't see that in any of the minutes, any of the agenda items or anything. Will that be discussed later in the meeting? I've got an order to have to be brought up now, or is it later?
I will address that in my comments at the moment, and then, once it gets back from legal, we will have a full-blown discussion on the STR.
I've got serious concerns of the document that went to legal. Just what I saw in the draft that we got at the planning commission meeting on September 25th. It was lacking almost everything. So I'm not sure what went over there. I didn't see it, but I've got extreme concerns.
Yeah, well, basically, it's, for them to offer their opinions on what was written, and we do have, Mr. Packer's suggestions on how to fix the holes in it. And those will be addressed once we get it back from legal. When we come up with a final draft, it'll go back to legal, it won't go back to the planning.
Okay.
Okay, and then,
So it follows
it'll
the
come in
circuit
for
here.
final approval.
Okay.
It's just a
Will
matter.
public have input in between there? And can we see the draft that you guys are thinking?
Yeah, we can put the draft on the website.
That'd be great, because the original draft was lacking in so many things.
Okay.
And not so many other things, room for interpretation, conflict of interest, so we do incredibly bad. Sorry to say that.
Okay, so the draft STR, to the website. Point taken.
Thank you.
Okay, any other public comment? Where to start?
Just a couple of things, the synopsis of October regular meeting, that was the September meeting, is that the little.
No, that is the October 19th meeting.
No, this thing that says synopsis.
Right.
Must be the September. You could double check, because we also have the minutes from the October meeting. And I think there must be a little.
Okay,
Spelling error
I
in the
didn't put
headline.
the September synopsis out there. Did somebody else copy that?
We have documents that both say October.
no, I
And
printed out,
one should be September and one is
I
October.
printed out copies of the synopsis.
The regular meeting minutes are what will be looked at and approved tonight, not the synopsis.
And the synopsis was September.
Yeah, the regular, meeting minutes, the draft minutes will be gone over for the October 19th minutes.
And what is this other thing? Is it September or October? Because
It's October.
But it's not
It's October.
identical, it's different people attending, because they're different meetings,
No, it's the same meetings.
with different people attending.
I'm sorry for the confusion.
But if you look at the attendance, it's different people attending, so it should be.
I'm sorry. I, as the clerk, did the minutes for the meeting. The supervisor did the synopsis.
The other thing is question for the October meeting, I noticed that on the public comments. I made a comment and it's not listed in the minutes.
That's not required for us to post all of the
Public
comments.
comment, basically is not required. What's required in the synopsis, basically are motions and votes,
Okay,
business concerning.
so, what I mentioned was the resolution that I feel is important, needs to be followed by everybody, so what the step taken is that everybody is informed and that the resolution is now followed by every board member and the zoning.
Okay, I can't, I'm having a hard time hearing because
We have two hearing aids.
All right, yeah.
At the last meeting, I mentioned the resolution, that, gives everybody instructions how to end the complaints. And it was, important that all officials, township officials, including zoning, get informed about that, because it should be enforced and it has not been in the past. So my question is, since it's not on the any minutes, what step has been taken that this information got to everybody?
yeah, but the resolution for what?
It was resolution number 5 of 2019 about the Clearwater Township Ordinance Enforcement Rules.
Okay. I didn't get to that, so.
No action has been taken on that.
Okay.
I do apologize.
Okay, next. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Sue Kelly, and I've got a letter here with north of 60 signatures from township residents that I would like you to review. This letter is urging the board to reinstate the agreement with the Kalkaska County Sheriff, placing a dedicated deputy in Clearwater Township. Public safety is a priority in this township, and we feel strongly that the law enforcement and public safety services should and could be provided by the sheriff's department, where they already have support services, procedures, and the human resource structure in place. We don't feel we need to recreate the wheel here. Many residents in the township have been happy with the services previously provided by Deputy Society, and we are not in favor of township hiring an employee and bringing on all the additional costs and responsibilities for an employee for this purpose. I have attended several of the committee meetings on this issue, beginning with the Constable Committee, and these meetings were not generally well attended by the residents, but not because they weren't aware of them. Residents are not misinformed or uninformed on this topic. They simply don't want something other than an updated agreement with the sheriff's department. At the meeting, there were a couple of consistent comments brought up by committee members. One was there were certain activities being conducted by the assigned deputy who they didn't feel should be charged against the time that the township contracted for. Another was that there are certain activities that they felt should be included in the deputy's responsibilities that were not being done. We believe that these issues can be adequately addressed in a properly negotiated agreement with the sheriff, and the township trustees can oversee that agreement for compliance. Another issue was the desire to have a type of community relations officer who would visit schools and spend some time with kids. While it's a nice idea to provide officer visibility in an elementary school, it comes down to cost. And it's a matter of nice to have versus need to have. We think the focus should remain on public safety.
Okay.
I've also attended certain, the current budget meetings. The last budget report provided that the sheriff budget for the agreement was $20,000. Should the township negotiate an agreement that doubles the amount of hours from the prior agreement, taking into account general cost increases and overages from the last budget cycle, that budget could increase by approximately $30,000 or so. Based on what I've seen in the budget work so far, the amount should be able to be absorbed into the operating budget being developed without negatively impacting other services enjoyed by residents given the anticipated growth in tax revenue. Lastly, it was stated that grants and or ARPA funds could be made available to fund a position or an expanded agreement. As long as the township has done the calculation to show the loss of revenue from the pre-COVID year, that's true. If that calculation has not been done, I would encourage you to complete it to ensure that the township is eligible to spend those federal dollars in the various methods and ways that I heard discussed. Grants and ARPA funds are one-time revenue streams, and I would caution the board against using those funds for anything other than one-time expenses. To do otherwise just creates a problem financially down the road. In summary, we are urging you to negotiate agreement with the sheriff's department for increased hours and specific services noted if you so desire, and reinstate the agreement with the sheriff as soon as the current termination period is completed, which I believe is January of 2024. Thank you for your time.
It's on the agenda, maybe. Anybody else? LaView?
At the Board of Commissioners meeting last night, they disbanded their ARPA fund and created a new fund with $3,030,000 in there. And it's called the Countywide Improvement Committee. And I encourage you to look into that and see how you can start applying for some of these improvements. We've got a lot of cash to work with.
Was that federal agreement where they basically sold their ARPA fund to, can't remember which township.
Oakland, I think.
No, that was something.
That was something
The road commission, yeah.
Okay,
For dollars that they could use anywhere, they gave credits for something that was needed at another
do
county.
you have any information I'd forward it to the board, please?
Truman's here.
Yeah, they might change the name. All it is.
Change the name.
Just change the name.
There's no longer ARPA funds.
It's all our.
Okay,
$3 million.
is there a procedure for that? Do we have to basically notify, the federal government that we're doing this?
They might have to, I don't know. If I know, we change the name. The money is still
Yeah.
in.
I would like to know exactly how you did that, other than just changing the name of the fund. Okay, hopefully it's legal. That's the only thing I would be concerned with is, pushback from the government. Anyway, any other public comment? Okay, hearing none, there's my agenda again. Okay, before we get to, the consent agenda, I have, a few items. Go to. Said the sheriff contract. I asked Sheriff Whiteford, a while ago, I believe he sent me, basically his boilerplate uniform contract agreement, last April. I was waiting on a recommendation from the Public Safety Committee, once the Constable Committee, or anything they would like to see included in the contract that has been lacking with the services rendered thus far. And the last report I got was for a community services officer with basically no police power. So that contract should be in your packet. And we will basically take it from there. I know there are several complaints from the community about response, about adequate prosecution and enforcement of township ordinances. So we need to review the boilerplate contract and set some conditions, which would have to be approved by the county sheriff for a new contract before we take it up again in December. Yes, sir.
Yes, when I talked to Sheriff Whiteford, he had stated he had sent you a revised contract for you to look at, and I've asked for that several times.
That might
Have you
be-
looked through your email?
That might be the one I pulled up because it was the most recent one.
Okay, it would have been in April. Instead of been
I went back in my email. And I didn't see anything newer. So I will look again.
This one right here says first day of April, 2020.
Right.
yeah, that's,
That's the last one I've got.
yeah.
It also says Melinda Bowie on it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's got Melinda's name
I
on it.
will ask the sheriff to send that out to the board.
Anyway. We need to make sure that the township citizens are getting their dollars worth. To strip around if we do initiate the contract. And certain conditions have to be inserted into it. Before we take any.
This one here is for 20 hours a week
Yeah, I know.
and no dollar.
Yeah, that was most recent one I found on my email.
Oh, yeah, right here, it's 36.47.
Cause I did have my computer lock up on me a couple months ago too, so.
If the board don't mind, I'll ask the sheriff to send that to the board.
Yes,
please. That's
please
fine.
do.
Okay, did pass this out to the planning commission. Mr. Packer is our, newest member. Mr. LaFews placed on the planning commission recommendations for, some, policies he would like to see in the STR. Once we get it back from the, township lawyer, I called him a couple days ago and went over a number of things. One of the first things was the overpayments to the former clerk. He requested I resend the audit report from, Tyler Waters, which I did. And I also told him in an email if he needed any further documentation that we could provide. If we have it, we will send it to him. So he can write a letter, requesting repayment to the former clerk.
I believe that overpayment was audited by Mr. Anderson, not Mr. Waters.
Yes, sir. But Mr. Waters was basically, working for Mr. Anderson at the time. He did the personal audits on me and, Melinda Boyd. And, that report, I actually sent them both of them. So, that's where that stands. Verizon, the maintenance fund with the $10,000 with the data usage over 90 days. They have forwarded that to a collection agency. I did ask him for a status report on that. He said he did contact the collection agency. They wouldn't give him any information because he wasn't authorized by the township to do so. So he sent a letter basically authorizing release of account information from the collection agency so we can clean up that. That's been reported to fraud at Verizon 4 times.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're still trying to get us to pay the $10,000 or $11,000 in data. So I have signed this letter. I will send it back. The clerk has a copy.
Is that something we need to make a motion to approve?
Yeah, without objection. Basically, I'll just forward it to him unless you want to have a roll call vote on the issue.
The
This has
phone
been
sat
dragging
on
on.
the kitchen counter
This,
for
this,
a month and racked up $1,800.
anyway.
So the motion would be authorize,
Basically, authorize the
Authorization.
township legal to, gather information from the collection agency concerning the Verizon effort to collect them. They turned it over. And basically what this does is this goes on the credit report, all of them, TransUnion and whoever. And basically want to make sure that they did send a letter to us to challenge the notifications to the credit agencies, and I sent it to him.
can we,
Motion on the floor.
So motion is to authorize Township Legal to contact the credit agency on our behalf
regarding the Verizon debt, and that is your motion?
regarding the Verizon
Factors. Okay,
issue.
and then, do we have a second for that?
Second.
I think that would just be then call the vote.
Voice vote,
Okay.
unless you want to do it roll call.
Do you want?
Voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, opposed? Okay, so I'll forward that to the lawyer. Okay, what was the short-term rental? He said that he hasn't completed his basically review of the short-term rental. So that will be forthcoming. And also, if he has no further requests for documentation on the former clerk's overpayments, he should be sending a letter for our review and approval to forward to Ms. Boyd in an attempt to collect the overpayments. Okay, other than that, the only other issue was we seem to have some consternation over, my publishing, after correcting, the draft summary for the, October 19th meeting. Okay, the draft summary, synopsis that I got, had a couple of holes in it.
That was not the draft. That was a summary. That was not a summary. That was the draft of these minutes that are to be approved. For
No, I
October.
understand that.
The summary
that's-
that you got was for September. That was supposed to be published.
No, there were two of them.
Yeah,
There was one for
September to be published, October for review for this meeting.
No, because the law states that, I'll read the law. Okay, and, these
Before you read the law, can I just tell you what they taught me in MTA? They taught me the timeline for how I'm supposed to handle the minutes. And it is 8 days to have a draft available in the office.
Okay,
At the next meeting, those minutes get approved and there's 5 days to post them. 21 days after that, the summary has to be published.
that's not
That's
what
what
the
they
law
taught
says.
me at MTA.
That's not what the law says.
That's what they taught me. The legal department. of
MTA is not the
MTA
state
taught me that.
legislature.
But how can you post them in a paper when they haven't even been approved?
You can't.
It's a synopsis.
It doesn't matter if it was not approved.
Okay,
it's
let me
approved.
read the law. Okay. Revised statutes of 1846, and this was, from Mr. LaFew, insisting on that, a township of our size and our tax assessed value, okay, needs to comply with this law. All right, it is 41.72A for reference. There are copies available on the table. Township board regular and special meetings, time and place, moderated transaction of business, publication of proceedings. Subject to subsection 6, if the township has a taxable value calculated under 27A of General Property Tax Act 1893, Public Act 206, etc., MCL 211.27A of $50 million or more, the township board not more than 21 days after a meeting of the board. Not more than 21 days after a meeting of the board shall publish the proceedings of the meeting in a newspaper of general circulation in the township. The publication of a synopsis of the proceedings prepared by the township clerk and approved by the supervisor.
Prepared by the
Madam, I
township
have the
clerk.
floor. Approved by the supervisor, showing the substance of each separate proceeding of the board is a sufficient compliance with the requirements of this subsection. In English,
But it
Okay,
doesn't make sense.
that is what
That's why MTA.
Doesn't-
taught us.
I am,
We have to approve them
You know.
before they should go out to the public.
the minutes, yes, the synopsis, no. It doesn't say here the board has to approve the synopsis. It doesn't say the clerk has to approve the synopsis. What it says is the supervisor,
It says the clerk prepares the synopsis.
yes. Okay, so
And the clerk. publishes.
I review it for a true and accurate representation.
Well,
of-
we can just discuss this at a later time, because I did reach out to Township Legal to get his ruling on how that is supposed to go.
That-
And I will reach out to
that's fine.
MTA again and let them know.
I'm just citing the law and my actions under the law.
You also changed minutes without board approval.
I didn't change minutes, I changed the
We
synopsis.
had a public comment about the confusion, because there's a difference in what you posted and what I posted. So I'm telling,
Basically, what I did was fill in a couple of blanks and correct when we get to the town.
that's you altering minutes without a board approval.
It's not altering any minutes.
I would,
All I did
I would
was,
suggest that we table this. There's no sense in putting the public through this right now until. we
well,
get
I
back
just
to
wanted the
reading.
public to be aware that there is some difference of opinion according to the law, and that I acted within the guidelines of the law.
Well, the board doesn't totally agree with that, but let's
That's fine.
not keep this going.
All right, so anyway, we can move on to get to approval of the minutes. From October 19th.
I've already read it. You do a good job.
Okay, I had a couple of things. See where I can direct everybody here. Correspondence and announcements, Freedom Grant, we get down to, the metric fund vote. On page 2, Supervisor Backers discussed the matching funds for the Underhill Road bridges with John Rogers and said that the township would be responsible.
What page are you on? What section?
The back page of 1, you're talking.
That's page 2, second page.
Oh, you.
Well, actually, it's page 3. I'm sorry. I got this double sided. And it would be under road committee.
Okay.
Okay, couple of errors in here. Matching funds for the Underhill Road bridges, but John Rogers and said that the township would be responsible for the entire match. No, that's what John Rogers said. I didn't say that. Okay,
That's what you told us, that John Rogers said that, so that's what
well,
it
no,
says.
John Rogers said that, but that's not what this said. If
It
you read,
depends on
if
how
you
you
read
read
it,
it.
yeah, read it. John Rogers said,
You had a discussion with
you
John
added,
John
you
Rogers
put an
said.
ad in, all right, with John Rogers and said.
So the
okay,
township
so-
would be responsible for the entire match, that's what he said, right?
Well, that's what he told me
Alright,
at
so
first.
there's no
That's,
error.
that's what he told, about just scratch the and it works right. John Rogers said that the township would be responsible for the entire match. Neither the county or the township has the funds to meet that amount. Now, it said, so Tom made a deal.
And I do agree that you went back and said negotiated, later on in the discussion.
Okay, this basically is a statement of fact, which is patently false. Okay,
What?
did we vote on the letter of confirmation for the $150,000?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, that's what I was driving at. My discussion with John Rogers was to come up with a figure to present to the township board.
I
That
can
would,
take you back in the recording and listen to that. And at 1 hour and 41 minutes and 5 seconds, it discusses all of this, and I pretty much
so,
put word for word what was said.
word for word, Tom made a deal, was trustees Key's comment. Okay,
And I
I
already
made
said,
no
I agree
deal.
that
What-
you changed
what I
that to
did-
negotiate.
What I did was
You
basically
negotiate.
have a discussion to negotiate a figure to present to the board for approval,
And
or
that's what that says.
okay? No,
So
it doesn't.
change made a
It
deal to
says-
negotiate.
Tom made a deal. I made it. Did you see a contract?
That's what I'm saying, Tom. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay,
Change the
so-
wording from made a deal to negotiated. Is that okay with you?
That's fine with me.
Okay.
If the implication
Can I
was,
ask something?
yes,
Why aren't these minutes reviewed? Why did you all get them way long time ago and review this?
We did.
Okay, so why are you having arguments about, wasn't that already when you?
Because the
Basically-
business has to be
basically,
done here.
there are some statements in here that are misleading. Okay, this is a public record.
Right, and I
Okay.
understand that, and I understand that there are statements that are misleading, but how did the misleading statement start in the first?
She drafted the minutes.
I drafted the minutes from the recording.
And they
Okay.
only get approved one, I mean, no one looks at them to hear.
So basically what we're doing is we're reviewing these for approval Okay, so that it become a permanent part of the public
Right,
record.
I understand.
I don't like-
And all that, I just don't really.
I don't like the insinuation that I was acting on the entire behalf of the entire board.
And you did make that statement at the meeting.
Um,
And so that's why I agree that that should be changed to
Okay.
negotiated,
And that's why we,
which is your
That's my.
duty as a supervisor.
Yes,
To
basically what I was doing my homework,
Mhm.
okay? Supervisor Becker stated that it would also include the paving of Underhill. That is false. I said the paving of
No.
some of Underhill.
Oh, you want to add some in there.
Right.
Where is that statement?
Question regarding the grant fee for just a bridge in the county, second paragraph down from the initial one. Paving of some of Underhill Road, that's what he told me. Okay,
So add some,
nobody has seen the grant and cannot answer, nobody has seen the grant, basically, the grant, all it did was.
that was the statement that was made in the meeting, nobody has seen the
Okay,
grant.
and, well, I saw,
What else you got, Tom?
relax. I'll give you the floor.
Let's go.
Okay, Supervisor Backers reiterated that we need more information on cost projections. That's the truth. Okay, before we can make a decision on what amount. No, you're just basically was asking for information that we don't have.
Where you at?
Okay, so how do we fix that statement?
Where you at?
Down. Okay, the next two paragraphs actually,
That was what you said, Tom.
said supervisor reiterated, we need more information.
That's what you said, we need more information on cost projections. Before we
Right,
can make-
right, because they haven't
Okay.
done an
So is
engineering,
there something you,
an engineering
you're
survey.
you're saying something's wrong with that statement, but that's exactly what you said.
Why? It says before we can make a decision on what amount of the matching funds. Now, that. If you're waiting on that, then,
1 hour,
the
50
match-
minutes and 20 seconds, that's exactly in the
the
report.
match
where
wouldn't
you
have
said
been
that.
made. Okay, before we can make a decision on what amount of matching funds we will commit to, that you would have to replay that for me. I will check it, but, what amount of matching funds, the matching funds basically had no, bearing on the cost projection. So Supervisor Backer stated that Mr. Rogers said that with the full amount of the grant, he should be able to replace the bridges and pave the road
You said that 3 times.
partially,
Or
some of the road.
pave some of the road, okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
my suggestion would be to table approving the October minutes until the board can fully go through it. And basically this, I don't think this has to be done. in
If
the
they're not
public.
approved tonight, they're automatically approved.
They're basically, that's the heartburn I had with it, was basically
Just
that.
the negotiated and adding some of to the portions where it talks about the paving of the road, some of the road, not the
Right,
total of the road.
some of the road. He said if he had any residual funds left over from the bridges, he would pave as much of the road as possible. Some of them, and he projected that to be up to where it makes the turn to the east.
can I ask a question? What do you know about this, Jim? The board voted for Jim to get the information to and from John Rogers. John Rogers
That's
just
out
wanted
of
one.
order, we're trying to approve this.
I know, but this is confusion because we need to have, if we're gonna correct, but I hear you.
Basically, I'm the supervisor.
I-
Okay, I need to know what's going on.
Come to
Okay,
the road committee meeting.
yes, and if I have a question, I can contact Mr. Lupie.
Can we get back
If
to
I have a
that? Are
question.
there any other questions on the minutes?
Other than the fact that John Rogers said it was proposed, you could strike that statement. John Rogers didn't say that, well, he did
Well,
say.
I
the
wouldn't-
money was proposed.
I wouldn't strike that statement because I believe that is what you said more than
No,
once.
that's what John told me. The money was for both, but he would pave as much of Underhill as the money allowed. Okay. Other than that,
So I would agree to the corrections of changing made a deal to negotiated, and I would agree to changing paving of Underhill Road to paving of some of Underhill Road. And grant, he should be able to replace the bridges and pave some of the road.
okay. So that's my heartburn with minutes. Any other, corrections, additions, deletions to the minutes as amended?
I will motion to approve the minutes for October 19th as amended, changing the wording, made a deal to negotiated, and including some of to those two sentences.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, please vote the approving the amended minutes of October 19th. Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Okay, moving on. Under correspondence. I do have an agreement for the crosswalks, but we can take that up. Actually, we can take it up now. Road improvement agreement between the Calcasieu County Road Commission and Clearwater Township for the year 2023. The agreement was made and entered into. This money's already been included at the last meeting. Between Clearwater Township, Calcasieu County, Michigan, here in as Township Board of Calcasieu County Road Commission, here referred to as Road Commission. The parties of the township desire to improve the following road crosswalk: Rapid City Road, Arwood Road, Valley Road, and 4 school symbols on Rapid City Road. It is now therefore agreed that the Calcasieu County Road Commission will perform the following: apply 4 school symbols on Rapid City Road, apply a 90 feet of 12-inch continental crosswalks on Rapid City Road, apply 90 feet of 12-inch continental crosswalks on Rapid City Road. There's basically 2 intersections that they're talking about. Projected cost $1,077.00. Degree the township will pay 100% of the cost projected to be $1,077.00. And basically that's just the situation. I need a motion to approve this agreement with the Calcasieu County Road.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second? Second. Roll call vote, if you will.
Motion to approve the agreement with Calcasieu County Road Commission. For the
Repainting of the crosswalks. the amount of $1,077 to be paid to Metro Fund. Is that correct? Yes, that was approved at the last meeting.
Okay. Tom Backers,
Yes.
Joanne Childs,
Yes.
Greg Bradley,
Yes.
Albert Keys.
Yes.
Christine Johnson, yes.
And I need your autograph. Witness. I have two applications for the, upcoming vacancy on the planning commission. We'll get to that when we have the planning commission report. Basically, we don't have to make a decision now. That would be for Fenbon C's. See at, first of January. Yeah, remember,
Yes. Well, no. In last meeting minutes,
well, let's get through the treasurer and clerk first. Reports, does treasurer have anything other than,
We are close, I believe we're gonna be able, people are gonna be able to pay their taxes by credit card. It should come out in the newsletter, we're trying to get that, there's gonna be a newsletter going out with your tax statement. We're getting right down to the wire, but I believe that that's gonna happen, so you wanna watch for that. If it's not in the newsletter, then what will be on your tax statement of how you can do that, your taxes online, but. And the rest is just, you can see the treasury report back there. I'm not gonna read it all like we usually do, you go back there and get all that. Of where we stand, we have 3 accounts in Huntington and 2 left over in, with the tax parks and rec in general and Huntington Bank. And then we have the fire fund and the road fund still in Alden, and then we have Michigan Class where. If there's an over amount, then that would be insured, we can actually put Michigan Class and it's drawing good interest. So you can see the interest for the ones that we've, transferred over to Michigan Class.
are you finished moving funds around?
We're close, we still are waiting for some, there's been checks that have not been cashed, and so we cannot close out accounts in the general fund. And I think it's just a general fund, and there's a little bit in the tax account too, but there's we gotta do some money because of the taxes.
So you're waiting for checks to clear.
Yeah, it's been a while, we wanna close that and get that.
And then there was a state of Michigan deposit that went into Alden and it should have went into Huntington.
Yeah,
Okay. I got a question for the treasurer.
yes, sir.
There was deposits made in the Sigma account.
Mhm.
Where did that money end up at?
Is that the one, I think,
It is still in the general fund.
Well, that belongs to the fire department.
Yes.
That's your fire
I see no deposits made for that.
yeah,
No,
Okay.
not yet. I think there were 2.
Two.
Okay, I didn't have the exact amounts and we were looking for paperwork so that we could put that with our receipt for depositing. Cause we have
Why
to write
sent
a
you a
check.
bill over it for one?
the automatics are really difficult, we'd rather
Yeah.
get them directly instead of.
The bill was the $2,800 that you paid for, okay,
Then
and then the other one
I
was.
got a question for Tom. How did we get paid for that, the governor's grant? How does that money supposed to be coming?
Which grant would be,
The one that everybody got $10,000. And we had to prove that we had spent that money. We sent all that in, but we haven't heard anything, so I don't know. Where that money comes back from, so we know where to watch for it.
I tell you the truth, I don't know either.
Well, I think that comes back to the Sigma account because we had to put that number
Is
in.
that a power plant thing or?
No, that was the governor.
Oh, that was the grant for,
The equipment, yeah, that we'd already purchased, you know.
right, that was a reimbursement fund.
Yeah.
I don't know, I have to go back and look at that. Okay. And, basically, you might wanna, actually, when we send an email to whoever is involved, okay, I'll reference you on that. Okay, so, when we get a response, you'll get one to you.
I was just wondering where the money
Where
comes
the
back
money
from.
would end up,
You know,
I don't know. So, anyway, that's a good question. Fire department reimbursement. Okay. All right, clerk,
Did send you in the packet via email, the budget versus actual And I, for some reason, didn't think to copy that for the public. I did copy the expenses by vendor detail, which I went back to October 19th for the last meeting and then up to today to show the accurate amount of what has been spent, which is in the post audit folder, which you can't get to because you don't have the key to the store yet. Angie and I talked about that today to make sure we get you one.
Thank you.
So most of our cost centers and our chart of accounts are under budget, but there's still a few that are over budget. And
So things are smoothing out over.
yes and no, actually, we had the insurance bill to pay, but we did not have the funds to pay that bill. And we were down to $900 as I was paying bills, and I still had a stack this big to pay. And then I discovered when talking to Dee that there was another state of Michigan deposit made, which made me able to pay the bills. So we were right on the verge of having to call the state and say we're in the red. And reporting that.
Okay.
So right now, we're not in the red, but I still have some big bills that have not been paid.
Money comes in next month.
Yeah. We're holding our breath.
Okay, so the insurance bill has been paid?
Yes,
Did we get a breakdown from the insurance company?
yes. And I think that's on here. I think I put separate under. So
basically, the insurance company gets two checks, one from the fire department.
no, it was one check from the township and we were reimbursed the township.
Okay,
Municipal underwriters.
right,
No, it doesn't. Spread it all into general fund. I didn't put it, oh, there it is, okay. The top two, Michigan Power and Workers' Comp are under the fire fund amounts. If you, municipal underwriters, yeah, vendor detail. It's page 4. They're alphabetical. So it was 12,761 for the power plan, and it was 2,911 for workers' comp for the fire department.
okay, any other checks you have hanging that you need to know about?
I don't think so. I think we paid our final Hoyles Drive engineering out of the road fund
Okay,
payment.
time to pursue some grant money for those. Which means working with the county road commission.
Everything else was just,
Sheriff's report, got one, I thought I forwarded it, to,
I did not get a sheriff's report from you.
okay. Let's revisit that, and if it's.
I did find out that you can on Facebook go onto the Kalkaska Sheriff's Department and they have their reports posted on there. So from 10/31 to 11/3, there were 9 calls in Clearwater Township. And there was an alarm, a PDA, a welfare check, department assist, threats, property damage, assault, and civil dispute that they responded to.
Okay,
That sounds better than it's been.
Well, we don't know what, because we haven't gotten a report, so we don't know what they've been doing,
That's true.
but they are responding.
What website?
It's
Facebook,
Facebook, it's on Facebook,
Sure.
You don't have a website?
The sheriff's department Facebook?
yeah. Kalkaska Sheriff's Department Facebook.
yeah, they have a.
That's where I
They have a
found it.
Facebook link on their actual website, which is pretty much devoid of any information, but.
Yeah, I don't think you can get those reports on their website.
No, you have to go through the admin. Administrator. Okay, anything else?
Nope, that was it.
Public Safety Committee. Not here.
It was punchy.
Roads Committee. Okay, basically, we've pretty much covered.
Other than we haven't had our committee meeting this month because we didn't want to do it with some conflict with, excuse me, Thanksgiving. So it's actually gonna be the fourth Tuesday, the 28th.
Okay, so your meeting is, did you post that to the website at all?
It's,
28th?
yes. It's in the October minutes. That we just,
Okay, we don't have Unibid up and running, their website manager, whoever that is. It's in the.
It is still in the process of being built. Angie's got it.
Okay,
It's looking really good.
so we're still using,
Still using
basically
the,
Pro Web.
yes.
Okay, meeting on the 28th. You wanna post that, Jim, or you want me to do it?
if you can, that'd be great, yeah.
Okay, I'll get on that tomorrow. Moved.
And that one, there also the turn lane thing for downtown, I don't know if you want to discuss that here, we've talked about that a couple times at our.
Right,
There's also a lot of support to put a regular stop light at Arwood Drive. We've had that discussion quite a few times too, and there seems to be a lot of people that like that.
okay, I basically followed up on that when I called John and I texted him. I said about left turn lane, and this has come up several times before. He told me that he forwarded the request to GFA for plans. So yesterday I called Jennifer at GFA and she said she hadn't seen it yet. So she was supposed to get up with John so that they're on the same wavelength, and evidently GFA is supposed to design the left turn lane with any traffic changes and present that to John Rogers and this board. So heads up for that. But she was unaware that John had tried to contact. Anything else? Fire department. Have your report.
We got some money there. Yeah. We couldn't repair the one door, so we have to replace the panel.
Yeah.
And that's about $1,500 for the materials that, last month we applied or through 23 something.
Yeah.
Well, we need to dump up that by about another 1,500
Okay,
to replace the bottom panel of door number 1, I think it is.
okay, so you missed one, is what you're saying?
No, we thought we could repair it, and it's too bad gone too far.
An additional door, yes, $1,500.
And then there's 2 quotes in there for replacement of the 3 entry doors, which are original. And one is the Cadillac door for $49.56, and we recommend the Duval out of Alden for $37.78.
Okay, so you need approval to spend $1,800.
$1,500 $37.78.
Then $37.78 on new doors.
New doors.
These are.
And I
entry
see
doors.
you got 2 bids, right?
Yep.
Is that what you have?
So this is 3,300, but it's not 3,300, it's 3778.
Yeah.
33.78 a month.
Yeah, it's $33.78.
30, this bid says 37.
Yeah. What am I saying?
I
33?
don't know.
Okay, 30. Go tell me.
It's $3,778. I make a motion that we accept the bid for Do It All Maintenance, LCC. For $3,778.
I'll second that. Roll call vote, if anybody.
One moment, I'm writing this out. This is repair or replace?
It'd be repair, both of these repairs.
3 doors.
Yes. And the 1,500 was for a garage door panel.
The bottom panel, yeah.
Amount of 3778. And that just gets paid from the fire fund.
Right.
Okay, motion to accept the bid from Do All Maintenance in the amount of $3,778 to repair 3 doors and to be paid from the fire fund. Joanne Childs,
Yes.
Albert Keys,
Yes.
Tom Backers,
Yes.
Christine Johnson, yes. Greg Bradley,
Yes.
Motion to approve the $1,500 for replacing the garage door number 1 bottom panel.
that is the additional funds. Who made that motion?
For the 1,500,
Yes. that
Me.
was you.
do I have a second?
Yes.
Motion to approve additional funds in the amount of $1,500 to replace the overhead door bottom panel. Tom Backers.
Yes.
Greg Bradley,
Yes.
Joanne Childs,
Yes.
Albert Keys,
Yes.
Christine Johnson, yes.
Then we also requested $2,200 for 2 rollout trays for 5-engine tanker.
Yep.
Roll out
Where do you
trays,
get those from?
roll out trays, yeah. Roll off.
When we had the truck built, we had provisions put in there to put the trays in if we decided we needed them.
Okay, I
We
mean,
decided we needed some.
side panel,
Yep.
compartment access,
Yep.
everything.
You need a signature on this, yes, from Do All Maintenance. Or, will you guys sign
approved.
that?
I just call them up, I'm doing
Okay,
it, still gonna do it.
okay. I'm sorry. Did somebody motion that for that? Sorry.
So these are, compartment trays.
What's your motion?
I'll make a motion for $2,200 for 2 rollout trays for 5-engine tanker.
Number 5.
Expensive.
I'll second
What
it.
is it?
Okay. Motion by Greg to approve $2,200 for 2 rollout trays for the 5-engine tanker, second by Tom Backers. Joanne Childs,
Yes.
Albert Keys,
Yes.
Christine Johnson, yes. Greg Bradley,
Yes.
Tom Backers.
Yes. Anything else?
That's it.
Planning commission.
I was at this meeting. I'll read what Tina had sent me. We approve Kevin Arietta's land use permit application for Radic, our zoning to issue. We said goodbye to Jim Review, whose term ends now. Thank you very much, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
And his successor will be Dan Packard. He was actually already voted in as his replacement in the October meeting. And then going back to October minutes. Dan Packard was voted in. The other thing I wanted to hit was, the next replacement for, Chair Von C. I suggested that leave the application process open until December, so we could vote on replacement in December's meeting. And I would like to stand with that date.
At the moment, we have two candidates, but that's just.
And that's all I have.
Okay.
We did also, in your packet, I don't know if I actually got this because I got it from Tina a little bit later, but we got notice of public hearing for, special use permit applications.
Actually, there were two of them.
Yep, 7225 Crystal Beach Road and 7285 Crystal Beach Road. And the notices have been mailed out to the neighbors within 300 feet. And
So
that
public notice.
in public notices, Tina is going to post on the website, and I believe, Margaret, did we already put those on the doors, the notice on the door for this?
Yes.
Okay. So they've already been posted.
Sorry.
So, sorry.
I have it right here.
The only report I saw in my email, indeed, I didn't print it, but did you?
Report, oh, zoning, yes.
I know she's been in touch with township attorney for pursuing some legal action in, 2 or 3 cases. And referred to the DBA.
Yeah, I think that just came in today.
Yeah, and I got an email on that, and the owner is basically agreed to instead of a special session, wait until the January, I believe, 8th meeting of the zoning board of appeals. Or variance request. For 51 citizen engagements. Three land use permits. Report appearances. I did get a phone call from Lisa complaining about the court system's reluctance to pursue any ordinance complaints that have been referred for legal action. I really don't know what to do. Is she kind of suggested that we make a suggestion to whomever, I don't know, we go to the state attorney general for a dedicated township judge that just handles township and code enforcement cases.
Nice.
So that would, well, you would have to create the position. So I guess I'll get with her and see if we can figure out who to send a distress call out to see if we can fix this.
I talked.
Because the county prosecutor,
Can you just do hearings like right here?
yeah, but they only do it one day a month. And
Oh,
generally,
there's something on that.
generally to ignore or dismiss. Most of the cases, or we're having a problem on Front Circle, as you know. Okay, and it's been dragging on for almost a year and a half. And the court keeps kicking it back to the township. The township, or basically the homeowners association, doesn't want to put their foot in it for some reason. You know, they could take legal action against this
Can
individual.
these be like in civil court instead of what we're doing?
Yeah.
Can they just get together and?
Yeah. Basically, either a referee or whatever, so she made the suggestion, I'll get back with her and see if we can map out some sort of a game plan to suggest this to whoever's in charge of creating new judges. And maybe we get somebody appointed, I mean, because it would serve the whole county. As far as township goes for code enforcement. And, that way you would have a dedicated judge whose
Just
duty is to take care of the townships. So anyway, that was a conversation that I was on the road at the time.
Sounds good.
Yes, sir.
To your point, if Marvin and Lisa are having these issues at the court, I mean, they handle other townships. Other than just ours.
Right, they've got.
So if they get with those other, they're having the same problem all the way around, just group together and then empower.
Well, it was a suggestion she made over the phone and
Yeah.
we were traveling at the time, but I told her I'd get back to her on that. It's a good idea.
Find out if there's other townships having the same issues and then go as one unit to them.
Right.
A little more power that way.
Anyway, so anyway, that's an idea. Don't know how to pursue it, but we'll find out. Okay, anything else?
Could we run that by the township attorney? Maybe he can give us some guidance as to where we
Yeah,
need to look at that.
I can call a bunch of people, but between the two of us, we should be able to pin down where to direct the question. So, because I would assume establishing a new judge would require the approval of the state attorney general.
To make it legal.
Maintenance, now we get to the tractor snow blower. So Craig doesn't have to hand shovel snow, he uses the John Deere, and that's 6 foot wide bucket. Okay. Now you had a question about the blower. Is that
Well,
what you
it's,
had?
it's already been answered. It is a front blower.
Yeah,
Front, it's a front PTO drive blower. Has a live PTO on the back, so any implement we buy will work. This is designed so if we decide to put a mower deck on it, you just drive over the mower deck and it hooks itself.
yeah, everything's hydraulic,
Yeah, all you gotta do is hook the cable for
Do
it.
we have money in the budget for that? Do we have, since we bought the other mower, what money do we have in the budget? I don't remember what.
we approved, I think it was up to $42,000 for a new tractor.
That was before we bought the mower.
$13,000, which I believe we spent on the Skags.
Mhm. Yeah, it was
Yeah, I believe that was,
close to 14, 13 something.
14. Which leaves us roughly $28,000. Yes,
And
this
there's
quote,
still 65 in.
Have we gotten any other quotes
That was
from
to be
anybody
paid out of
else?
capital equipment.
All I did was pick up where these other gentlemen left off. I went to, get them. They had no record of you guys being there.
Yeah,
Which
probably
ones
in
again?
some of my old files, I
That'd be
probably have
good.
those bids.
Kubota,
the orange ones there in Williamsburg?
Yeah.
Cause I went there for the mower. I got a bid from them for the, compare with the scale, but. Not because,
this particular model has come up now twice.
Yeah.
Okay, the first time, basically was a request for new quotes. And this time, what we're looking at is next month.
We don't have any of the old bids that we got.
I could actually for what we were looking at, it was either, go cheap for downsize and the width of this tractor and the snow blower is designed specifically for those
for sidewalks.
And the fact of the matter is, most people, most manufacturers make it too small or too big. So this is what was
I know
set
we've
with.
seen
And-
several bids, they're not all in one place, but we've seen several.
Yeah.
bids.
different ones.
And basically, you need to get something for Craig to blow snow with. Now, on the other hand, I do understand that the sports floor contract, the sports floor contract, the gym was pretty much accepted without question, simply because of time. I suggest this is the same situation.
Oh, we
Well, we had 3
several
bids for the floor,
that too.
we did bids for the.
Yeah, we did this. I'd make a motion that we accept this bid. We need to get this going.
I'll second that. We can probably sell the old, maybe do something with it.
I talked to Craig with that, and we are of the position that we would keep it for 1 year,
The old tractor.
the old tractor,
Put everything.
in case we have problems with this one, with everything.
It's a backup.
Wait a minute, this one should be under warranty.
It would be under warranty, but still, if it breaks or something, they still gotta, you know. Being new right out of the box and putting a rate.
I'm sure it's under warranty and I have some service requirements
Yeah,
too, which means.
So
it has
the
to go
old
back
one is
to
still
dealer.
working some.
Yeah,
So in the interim, I thought, you know, the other thing was, we could deal with the old tractor. Next spring, when it's not so critical.
Right. well, our fear was, you know, we get something right straight out of the box, we put it to work, blowing snow. And something doesn't work right. So if we sold the other one, it's like,
True.
you know, because parts are not
Yeah.
readily available.
I would address the old John Deere.
Motion on the floor.
We're discussing, but not really discussing.
Okay,
Okay, so a motion to accept the bid from John Deere in the amount of $27,274.46 to be paid out of the capital improvement fund, which was already approved on 5/18/23. Motion by Albert Keys, second by Joanne Childs, Tom Backers,
yes.
Greg Bradley,
Yes,
Christine Johnson, yes, Joanne Childs.
Yes.
Albert Keys.
Yes.
I just see one signature line here.
we still, this was through M-I-Deal, we're still part of that, aren't we, Tom? M-I-Deal,
Yeah,
we're still part of that, right?
yeah, I don't, I think so, but I would have to
So
check.
I said we bought the pickup truck through there,
Right,
you know, the plow truck and stuff, he said, well, there's nothing else, dude. We just
so,
have to have a letter.
yeah, I haven't followed through on it because we haven't made a decision, so, we can check on that. Actually, I think I talked to, was it Matt here at, was that the old, classic power. But, yeah, I'll call him and make sure we have our ducks in a row. Okay, this says this contract accepted by, and I will sign this copy.
Okay.
Okay, and it's 2023. You wanna inform them or you want?
Yeah, I'll let him, I'll call him first.
And just in case we have my signature on this. Parks and Recreation, the gym closer, I saw their.
We have a new chairperson. Parks and Rec has a new chairperson,
Okay,
which is Michael Span. And, he chaired the first meeting, the first Tuesday of the month,
okay.
and,
Does he have access to Parks and Rec email?
they're making that. Yeah, they're gonna be doing that.
That's Mike.
Christie is gonna be the secretary. She's stepping down from chair. She could be a mama. She don't know how much time she's gonna have.
Christie or Kelly?
Christie. We just discussed some of these, what the request here.
Do you have a copy of this?
We need,
Do you have a copy of this? She's
somewhere.
requesting, she's requesting bids.
we really need to find someone
Okay, yeah,
interested in doing the baseball fields repairs. We need to get someone that's dedicated
well, we're
to
down to
that.
one maintenance person now, so that's out of the question for him.
Pardon?
We're down to one maintenance person.
Yeah, and I agree. So we need to find, I don't know if we have to put something out there for volunteers or people keep saying that they'll volunteer, but then we don't get them. So we need to do something with
They're
that.
requesting RFPs be put out
Yeah.
for 2024.
RFP for the ball fields.
Yeah,
Ball field repair, pump house, water spout and breaking
Ball
pump
field.
installation.
First of all, new well at Heritage Park.
We're waiting for Roy Fraser, we're waiting for them to come up with the drawings, so we know where we're gonna put everything, and what we're gonna do.
They
Waiting
keep
on
saying
that.
they're waiting for us
Right.
to sign a contract with
With
Gordy Fraser.
GFA.
I thought
So,
we already did that.
We
approved that.
approved it, but I
It
don't
was never
know.
sent back.
No, we
to-
never got a contract from Gordy Fraser.
I
She's
think
been-
I
yeah.
called
Well, I
GFA.
think they're just working under the general contract that we hired them under.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, now you're asking for a contract on a contract.
Well,
Right.
yeah, we
I mean,
we
we just
approved the
need it.
contract for Freedom Park East and we approved the contract for Freedom Park West, and I think they want that one also separate.
Right, well, Heritage Park's a different situation, so
Yeah.
I'm a lot more, to go into that. Their design plans for this, basically, what they would need is a contract to basically map out
Mhm.
what we wanna do with Heritage.
Okay, so like similar to what they did.
Right,
Okay.
same thing over there, and I think that one's about $4,000.
Craig was at this meeting and he stayed, so he's aware of all that they're asked. Okay,
RFP on the ballpark maintenance. Actually, resurrection of maintenance.
you wanna finish, let me, no, say what I know. The trash removal was discussed, I would like more of Craig's opinion on that. He just kind of listened through the whole thing, because he's the one that picks up the trash, do we wanna, and then how often in that? They were talking about receptacles and stuff and what you get, and some of them were quite expensive. It's like,
Well, the thing about it, is you can't put a dumpster out there because you're.
Okay, well,
They'll fill it up with money.
if I may, the request is trash removal services twice a week at lake access from Memorial Day through Labor Day.
Okay, so here's the other problem. All right, the receptacles are in the parking area or thereabouts,
Yeah,
okay?
it's really hard to get. up there.
Traffic congestion, getting a truck in and out of there, okay, to pick these things up. First of all, we'd need a price from Greenleaf or whoever. For A, the receptacles, and B, the maintenance of them.
and from experience, you have to go there early in the morning and you have to pick up the trash along the beach and everything else, so I
Really,
don't know if they would do that.
really, this one, in my opinion, would fall under Parks and Recs. It's under your budget, right?
Yeah,
So that would be, I don't think this needs to go to the board. I mean, it's.
That's why I
Parks and
want
Recs.
Craig's opinion, because Craig's the one that picks up, he knows what time he has to pick up, he knows how many, or he just when you do it, you know how many times a week you have to do it.
if they come up with a proposal, because they have their own budget, okay?
I have,
They can
22
present
years.
this board a contract, okay, like the fire department does, you spend anything over $1,000. Okay, so if they come up with a game plan for this, and we think it'll work, and they come up with a price and get a contract that we can approve or deny. All right, and put it in front of us, that's an.
Can they contract with GFL to pick it up there at the road ends? Is that possible?
someone still has to get them, pull them back out there.
I would say this needs to go back to, Park and Recs.
We need to discuss it more
Yes.
later,
All right, they need to come up with a game plan and a price.
yeah, with Craig's, because Craig, that's what Craig does, we have to have him included in that, so.
Right. Well, it has to mesh with his schedule.
Mhm. And for the fertilizer, they emailed me and asked me to get a hold of Hometown, who had always done up till 5 years ago, the Heritage Park, and when the maintenance took over, whenever, it's just, they tried the fertilizer, it's not working, so we discussed that, we want a professional to come in there, I sent out to him to give us an idea when it would have to be done, we probably have to put it out for bids, but a professional will tell us what's needed.
Basically, you wanna call Hemlon and have them come out and take a look at what the
Well,
condition.
different ones, we'll get various
Yeah,
ones,
they
but
want,
yeah,
they want,
Well, I mean, for what it needs.
they want RFPs on all these.
Yep,
items.
yep.
Is what they want. They want an RFP on fertilizer, pesticide treatments for heritage, they want an RFP for walking Clearwater Piers and resealing. And they want RFP on stairs and handrail replacement at Freedom Park footbridge.
The
Desperately
current pump
needed.
house does
Desperately
need to
needed.
be overhauled.
What?
The current pump house, the
So,
pump is ancient. We need a water fountain out there. But, and overall perspective of things, we do need a new well out there.
Yeah, we had hoped to have a nice one for sure, but I don't know if we're gonna have it, so.
So can we get some of these stuff in the paper so we can get some quotes going?
Yes, we can. I will write RFPs all next week.
Well, I've talked with Joe and we both like the idea of advertising for a local general contractor. That we can say, you know, they do all maintenance. I got a door that needs to be replaced. Do it.
So you wanna maintenance.
I mean, these are a lot of little small things and, you know, if you bundle them all together, somebody might be interested in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like the
Okay,
ones that
well.
I just offered.
There are two ways to look at that. First of all, we need some RFPs on what it's gonna cost to do all these things, so we know. Secondly, if we advertise for, township handyman,
On-call maintenance man.
or handyman maintenance van, that's a separate issue.
How does, just a question, if we request RFPs, we turn them over to parks and they decide, or do we decide? Who?
On, request for proposals,
Yeah,
basically put it in the paper and I will have them, send their, proposal to.
directly
Correct.
to Parks and Rec. That's what I was
And they
thinking,
come back to us.
or they don't have to, or who,
But $1,000 they wouldn't have to.
right?
Finish that up, guys.
Fertilizer, walking trails repairs with the reseal. We could hire a contractor up there, but basically with a spray hose and a compressor. Or it would have to be rolled.
And it has to be repaired too. There's several repairs on the hill and
That
on
would
the.
be included in them, just like this, they had to
There's
build.
that
tracks
coming
and
up, it's
potholes.
growing.
Well,
Yeah.
you can drive a fire truck up there and an ambulance. I mean, we have before for people.
Like got an ambulance up that walking trail?
Yeah,
I drove my truck up there several times, watering the flowers.
Planning.
I mean.
Stairs and handrail replacement, I thought.
You go over.
The river walk. You're talking, which stairway are you talking about?
All to the footbridge.
To the footbridge?
We talked about
That
it
all wood
2 years
one?
ago.
Stairs going up the stairs going up the hill, all that.
Those should be, metal instead of wood.
The bridge itself.
We had a guy's actually bid 2 or 3 years ago, Mr. Kinney.
Yeah,
So we'll just have.
but there was one bid on it. Footbridge rail.
We'll get a hold of him again, but. Getting the, architects and all that kind of slowed everything.
Okay,
I would, like to make a motion that we remove the consent agenda from the agenda, because we never use it.
right. Unless you get written reports, everybody has something that they want to discuss.
I'll second it.
So, I'll second that
Well,
consent
we should
agenda.
follow it this way.
The consent agenda, that term and that description will be removed and we will just number the report accordingly henceforth.
Thank you.
Okay,
All in
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay? Oh,
He likes it. Roll call vote to accept the consent agenda is removed too. I have to remove. Okay,
I would also, when we're doing all this RFPs, right, we might as well go ahead and get a cost for a water well down there.
yeah. And that way we could put a,
Heritage,
There's no way to tie into that other well. I dig another one if we've got, the one they put in is just for all the sprinkler systems and that
yeah,
didn't
you
make any
can tie
sense.
into it, but we're gonna have to, gut out that building.
Okay, and the
Yeah,
sprinkler
and
systems are
and
way
you'd
off.
also have to, run a line. Or
It was just
across
transfer line.
from wherever the well was, because you would want, a water down at the pavilion. That end,
Yeah,
okay, ice rink.
I had Oren down there and he said we'd have to dig up the line that comes from the water well into the building.
Right.
And put a shut off in that, and then tee off of that, go somewhere else, so you could winterize one, keep the other one open for ice skating, you know?
Right,
And the sprinkler system is way off.
we understand that, so that's
That'll have
gotta
to
be,
be revamped.
first of all, it's gotta be mapped out, so we know what we got, and then it's gotta be changed, so we. Okay, anything else? Okay, GFA,
So, yeah, the GFA,
RMPNR. Get them moving on, the game plan for the area. Unfinished business, Underhill, right away, we still have to, amend the language to include, restitution, restoration of, the easement property to its original condition at Township expense. That was the only other condition. And he will terminate the lease agreement when the bridge is open. The bridges are open, the new bridges. So, we will, that's a housekeeping issue, we'll redo that. First of all, we didn't vote to approve the $4,800 at last month's meeting. The number remains the same, all we have to do is amend the language. So I move to approve, renewing the lease for the Underhill property easement to Underhill Road. In the amount of $4,800.
Second then.
Renew the lease.
Terminate on completion of the, and opening of the new bridge.
All right, I got renew the lease in the amount of $4,800 for the easement on Underhill Road.
The easement on the Robert Underhill's
Oh.
property.
Bob,
It's rude.
legal name, Bob.
Bob, okay, Bob, sorry about that, didn't see you hiding back there.
Oh, Robert.
I think I got that somewhat right. Tom Backers,
Yes,
Joanne Childs,
Yes,
Albert Keys,
yes,
Christine Johnson, yes, Greg Bradley.
Yes.
Okay.
so we'll make the amendments to the agreement, let you know.
As we talked on Saturday.
Okay, unfinished business insurance has been paid. Former clerk's restitution,
We
that's,
already talked about that.
that's a work in progress and I no information on it. Okay, request for a revote.
All right, I did some research. In the old QuickBooks, and from what I came up with. Jeff West was making $375 a month. In 5 years, that totaled out to $22,500, which is basically pretty close to what we were offering anyways. I would like to make a motion. In the case of Jeff West versus Clearwater Township, that we make an official settlement offer, again, in the amount of $45,000, of which up to $25,000 would be paid by the township in quarterly payments beginning in the next fiscal year, and the remainder being paid by insurance settlement.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Discussion. Who asked for the revote?
Rhonda,
Change your mind. Yours would be the only vote that makes a difference logically.
I vote yes.
are we gonna call the vote now?
Hmm?
So we're gonna call the vote now?
Yep, call the roll.
All right,
Okay, now my suggestion would be that this board vote to rescind the original vote.
Okay.
So there's no confusion. So, we have a motion on the table,
yeah,
okay? Before we get to that, I would move that we rescind the West versus Clearwater Township settlement offer vote of October 19th.
That way it clears the way so you can revote.
Did they get a second on that?
Second that. As received.
Technicality, but yeah.
okay. Motion to rescind the original vote on the West versus the Township case that was denied October 19th, 2023. Tom Backers,
Yes.
Joanne Childs.
Yes.
Greg Bradley,
No,
Christine Johnson, yes, Albert Keys.
Yes.
And then in the motion to make an official settlement offer of $45,000, of which up to $25,000 would be paid by the township in quarterly payments beginning in the next fiscal year, the remainder being paid by the insurance settlement. Motion by Christine Johnson, second by Albert Keys. Tom Backers,
No.
Greg Bradley,
no,
Joanne Childs,
Yes.
Albert Keys.
Yes.
Christine Johnson, yes. Motion carries.
Can we have just a question, the resolution that we made to overturn and the reasoning, overturn the former resolution the former board did, can we make that public again? In case there's any question here. That was done.
It's on the
It's on
website.
the website.
Website.
Okay.
The resolution is on the website.
Okay, new business,
Mr. Chair, if I may,
yes.
I'm just going over the old, going over the October minutes. I know this is out of order, but I see that there was a bid for garage siding. Only one bid was presented, and that was supposed to be put back in the paper.
Right,
Was that done? Did you get any more?
I didn't get there yet, I have to redo the statement of work so that the aluminum siding and softening are not included in the estimate. I wasn't specific enough.
Okay, so is that going to get done or no?
Yes, I've got a ton of RFPs to write, so, yeah, Parks and Rec just loaded me up and, I've got that and, the decking out here. Okay, and that's another question. That's another question. You suggested concrete. To replace this with all composite material, okay, that solves the wear and tear problem and basically weather. All right, the purpose of that would basically be to maintain the character of the building, so to speak. So, my thing, if I'm gonna do an RFP to replace the decking, I need to know whether this township board and the public basically want it concrete out back here, which means you're still gonna have to have the ramp and all of that in composite, or, to do the entire thing in composite.
I like the composite, I think as much as the same.
And basically, it's all wood grain finish and it's 30-year warranty on it and it's hidden fasteners, so we don't have to deal with nails popping up.
composite's gonna be what, how much?
$4,200 is the way I priced it out, but that doesn't include the handrails.
And that's all for composite?
That's
for
the
the material.
That's the materials.
Okay.
Okay, you're talking about a significant investment here, so I need to know what to ask for.
will we have a contract to do that or a maintenance? deal?
No, that's gonna, no, contractors come and
Okay.
basically dismantle this old deck and rebuild it.
So we need a bid.
So I just need a consensus of opinion here as to what to ask a contractor to do. If we're gonna split it and do half composite and half concrete, I think that it would basically suffice. In order to maintain the character of this building, I think, wood grain composite decking would be,
That's what I prefer.
I think so.
I just need to know what to ask for.
I don't have problems with composite, but I think our material cost is probably way low.
No, because I did try, I visited, I can in a couple other places and went online and just looked. For what, and they're all about the same, the fasteners are what's the big deal, it's $1,000 just for
So the contract
I
will just be
wanted to-
time we're paying for.
yeah. This
I
is
wanted-
this is the materials, so then,
Mhm.
you know, when we tell them what we prefer. This is what we're gonna provide to you, you tell us, or I could have them do the quotes, maybe they get a discount. You know,
Just the concrete slab for my dumpster, I called for a quote and they wanted $2,000. Just for that small little square to put my dumpster on.
Yeah.
So, I
anyway,
mean,
so if we
the cost
agree
of
on
concrete
composite,
for that,
that's the way I will write the, like the
Can we ask what the public would like? There's, no?
Not the time to do a survey.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so comp decking for the schoolhouse.
And that'll probably be done in the spring, I imagine.
Yeah, that, well, it would take a couple months for bids to come in
Mhm.
and everybody's kind of slow right now when the snow hits fan, so. So we should get some interest. Okay, budget workshop, the next and final workshop will be January 6th. Here at the schoolhouse, 10 a.m. And at which time we will propose a budget and post it public. Okay, newsletter. We're still looking for a good, if you talk to
At least
the
Lisa,
we're
deadline's
working on
already
it.
passed for that.
Huh? What's that?
deadline's gone.
Yeah, she,
Deadline's gone. I tried to get a hold of her tonight to see if it was ready to go. It's gotta be ready to go any day now if it isn't, but I think she got pretty much everything that she needed from everybody.
All right, so that's done. No closed session, public
no,
comment.
wait,
Credit card.
credit card, credit debit resolution.
Ah,
But before we look at that one, I have another resolution here, and I don't know how I ran across this, but I ran across this resolution 9 of 2022. Which was in the resolution book, but unsigned. And for whatever reason, I was looking for something online and I found that this one was missing off the website. Or maybe this was posted online unsigned, I don't remember, but when I looked at the minutes for it. This resolution that was in our book unsigned says. Something
You
about
have to-
statutory duties of the clerk and treasurer and wanting to, adopt a resolution that says, they would officially establish a position of office administrator. Okay, so that is the unsigned one in the book, but in the minutes. There's a resolution 9, that's what this one is, of 2022. That says a resolution for fire withholding programs with escrow. And it was adopted. Back here, 5/19 of 22. So I don't know which resolution was right.
And you haven't been able
The
to track that
minutes.
one down?
No, this, I don't know where this is. This is the resolution that was in the book, that is not this. This is the one in the minutes.
Fire withholding program, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I agree.
I don't even recall that.
That there was brought to us by Lisa. And what that does is somebody has a fire and they have an insured building. We, I don't know how it works, How's
Well, I
it?
have a vote on here that it's
The insurance
adopted, but I have no resolution for it.
Way I
And I
understand
have
it,
this resolution, I don't know.
the
what
insurance
happened
company
to that.
called Lansing somewhere and they find out that we do have that. So they withhold at least 20% of the payment. To make sure that the
Oh,
place
okay.
is cleaned up, so they don't just take the money, move off to California, you know?
I,
Yeah.
there was
Yeah,
a-
I remember that, and I don't know where a copy of that would be,
yeah,
and, the one that was in the book.
Can we rescind that resolution and?
Vote again and get it done.
No, because I don't, that's not in the minutes anywhere, is it? This resolution,
yeah, not in these minutes, not from this date, because the
I
resolution.
know we brought it up and we had 2-9, so this one might have been reassigned a number. But it ended up in the book
All
anyway.
right, I'll do some
Place
more,
that-
I'll do some more research, see if I can find the actual,
Yeah, because this
just so you know, the resolution book is,
establishing the
Messed up a
position
little
of the, township office.
so it
administrator
should be, well, they both.
should be under a different number and it should be in
Okay,
minutes.
so that one should be a different number,
Because-
that one should, okay, all
Because,
right,
because of the confusion, she put the wrong one in the file.
okay,
And
thank
it's,
you,
and it's under the wrong number.
I'll try to get that clarified.
Okay, credit cards.
All right, so the credit card use policy was approved. Let's see,
Remember that one.
I think it was in March, yeah, March 16th of 2023. We approved the policy, but we never did a resolution for it. So I had to write up a resolution for it because Huntington Bank needs that for us to
Okay.
apply for a credit card for the township to replace the credit card from Alden Bank.
Yeah.
So, resolution 13 of 2023. Whereas, under Public Act 266 of 1995, MCL 129.241, a township board may enter into a credit card arrangement to enable township personnel to use a credit card to make township payments. And whereas at a regular meeting of the Clearwater Township Board of Trustees on March 16th, 2023, the Michigan Township Association suggested credit card use policy was offered by the deputy treasurer, and motion for acceptance was made by trustee Greg Bradley and was supported by trustee Albert Keys, approved by unanimous roll call vote and adopted. And whereas the Clearwater Township Board deems that it is in the best interest of the township to make certain township financial transactions by using a credit card or debit card as described in the act, now therefore be it resolved that the approved and adopted policy shall govern the use of township credit or debit cards. The clerk is responsible for issuing, accounting for, monitoring, retrieving, and generally overseeing compliance with the township's credit card policy. Township credit and or debit cards may be used only by an officer or employee of the township for the purchase of goods or services for the official business of the township. The use of the credit or debit card is limited to the following circumstances: payment of web services or subscriptions, payment of online purchases of township supplies, or payment for materials necessary for ongoing building and grounds projects. And I would motion that we approve this resolution 13 of 2023.
I'll second that. Good housekeeping.
And roll call vote, Tom Backers,
Yeah.
Greg Bradley,
Yes,
Albert Keys.
Yes.
Joanne Childs.
Yes.
Christine Johnson, yes. Thank you so much.
Also, we need to get, either myself or the office administrator to put the Zoom link back up on the carousel on the webpage, that everybody knows.
It is, it has a
I know
sidebar
it's on the
that you
sidebar.
click on, go to.
Put it on the revolving door, so everybody sees it. They can participate, public comment.
Yeah, is there a copy of the lawsuit that you just voted to pay out on available to the public in the office?
On the what?
A public copy of the lawsuit you just voted to pay out on? The West.
that's the first time I've been asked that.
Yeah, I believe the insurance attorney has the lawsuit.
Okay, I can ask, for the
It
stipulation,
should be
I
fine.
believe I have it somewhere. But, yeah, we can
It's
We
been
can make
ongoing
that
for
available
years.
to the public, it's a matter of public record.
Yeah,
If you go to the court. And, just West Virginia Clearwater Township. Ask the court administrator, they can provide a copy, but, I'll look. Yes, sir.
Regarding SBO. Send some information or contact the township attorney that's working on this.
You would like to contact them?
Yep.
Smith and Young, Brad Weirdo,
Please say it again.
Smith and Young, or Smith and Johnson, excuse me.
Smith and Johnson, yeah.
Okay,
And who's the attorney?
Brad Weirdo,
Brad, how do you spell Brad's last name?
I think it's WIERDA.
WIERDA, thank you.
I have a public comment.
Yes,
I strongly object to my taxpayer dollars going to pay Jeff West anything. I'm sorry, it's just uncalled for. Our tax dollars are much better spent someplace that deserves them.
I got a public comment.
point taken. Yes, sir.
I just want to read something, from the office clerk. It says, hello, everyone. I have mentioned it several times prior that I am not able to control the door locks for the community center, Little Red Schoolhouse. When EPS was out, I was told that I have to go across the street and program it. If no device is in place, excuse me, in the Little Red Schoolhouse to have the connection. When I went over to the other day with another ESP technician, it was found that the line from the EPS system is not compatible with any of the input ports on my computer. So until I have it set up, I have to go back to loaning out keys for this Little Red Schoolhouse for rentals.
Okay. I've been working with, her trying to straighten out this door is on a telephone line. Okay, to the EPS, a landline. Okay, we've been paying $40 a month for a landline for this thing for years without using it. Okay, so the problem here, in order for Spectrum, who provided internet service here, to basically remove the landline and hook us up, EPS up to the internet, I need to get EPS together and I need to get Spectrum together. So I sent an email to Andrew and Jamarcus, I believe, at Spectrum, their project managers, requesting a site visit to actually hook up EPS to the internet so she can control from the office, all right, which is gonna require EPS and them to get together. So, I sent that email this morning. She had, Sean from Centaurus come out, because, not come out, basically, she asked, posed a question. Okay, can you come out and hook us up to the internet? He said no, because their firewall is specific to that entry point, the data point from EPS. So Spectrum has to do that, and hopefully, I didn't get a response yet today, but I'll hear from Andrew on when they will send a technician out here to remove the landline and hook us up to the internet and allow entry for EPS through their firewall to be.
Can you keep the board, send the board?
I'll forward anything I need, traffic I get. That is a problem. I tried my, card on the door, turns green for a flash and turns red, right back to red. So, you would have to have your hand on the door.
That still doesn't work, we tried it.
But until then, we have to use a key. Yes, sir.
Does anybody here know how far away it is to dispose of appliances, mattresses, that kind of stuff? It has come to my attention more and more, it's a long way, and in my travels out in the woods and everywhere, I'm finding stuff all over the place, and somebody gifted me a toilet this week
Oh,
on my
nice.
property.
Grandpa's garage is the one that we've used over here for our trash day.
That's in Blair.
There's another one, they,
Traverse City or
Rifkin
somewhere
scrap,
where
it's scrap metal and that's,
Well, these are things that aren't, nobody will take because they're not scrap, that mattress is.
basically the transfer station at American Waste, they closed that.
I
Yeah,
think
they
they
cosed,
both.
they
there
closed.
was a group that would take mattresses, but we didn't get a hold of them in time.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, we got a lot of residents here that are paying taxes, and if this guy, whoever it was, took the time to put a toilet in his truck and drop it on my property, if he had a place to drop it, and he's a taxpayer, is there a way that we can have a drop off?
You know, I hesitate to set up any kind of a situation with GFL or a transportation on an open-ended basis. Because people would, from everywhere, would be trying to take advantage of that.
It might clean up some of the junk, because I'm looking down the front road.
I don't know.
Couches out.
As far as, you know, and that's what our cleanup day is for. And the fact of the matter is, we didn't do a fall cleanup, this time because of the expense of, the curbside pickup 2 years ago. Put us in a bind for about 60.
And they're not responding back at all on that. They don't need it anymore. They've got a monopoly.
I'm
Yeah,
just looking
well,
at
no, I understand.
is there an alternative, because, you know, it's a long way.
I don't know if the county recycling center is still open.
The GFL closed the Calcasta spot, you know, take it to Traverse City now, and so.
Yeah, so it's a truck to get anything done. As far as what the township can do, you know, I mean, other than scheduling.
So much
a
a
fall cleanup
mattress.
day.
You could take it, and you have to pay money, so much a mattress, so much a mattress.
And then people.
And so they go right down, and the DNR's closing off all the roads, you know, you used to be able to go hunting on, you go there, now there's a big roadblock.
Shame people.
And people are doing it, so is there an alternative we could offer if they're taxpayers? You know,
We've spent a lot of money on trash, I mean, a lot of money, $2,000 for that.
It was
A year ago?
63.7, I believe is the figure from
That's
that.
just a lot of money.
Yeah.
for you to-
So
we
that
shouldn't
was,
have
that was a
to.
one-time experiment.
we shouldn't have to do it, but what's the alternative? People are just dumping.
The thing
it
is,
everywhere.
we can't devote a maintenance guy or something, on a continuing basis to run around picking up trash and all the way. So I don't know exactly what to tell you.
And well, I guess it all works in with Lisa having the right people up for junk in their yard. What's the alternative?
Yeah, where are you gonna take it?
Yeah.
What was the other question I had for, what was the deal with, the closure of North Amadon Road that I keep seeing on?
You know what that is?
Yeah.
That's a done deal.
An individual who owns property on the, I guess it would be the east side of Rapid City Road. You're familiar with Amadon Road South, which is actual gravel road. Well, that north portion is that little seasonal road that goes straight up the hill. It just goes up the hill over 5 properties and then comes right back out onto the road. It had no destination or anything like that, so it was 5 property owners.
It's a dead end road.
No, it's an
I thought it
old
went-
township road.
Yeah, it used to be Rapid City Roads,
Basically their driveway.
it crosses all their driveways.
Okay, so I just wondered if the township should be concerned about
They've already,
basically the county's abandoning the road.
they already did, yes, they had a public hearing and they all voted.
What was happening, it's my son's property, and I didn't even know this was going up until I went to the county road meeting. And, people were going up, and then they could, cause my son maintains the road up here and the east side. But then the rest of it wasn't maintained, and they go down his driveway, constantly going down his driveway, so he got all the owners on that road, and that's how they did it.
Any other public comment?
It was a seasonal road.
Yeah, okay, I would just wasn't sure. Okay, motion to adjourn,
Make a motion to adjourn.
and we,
This is too early.
and we adjourn at, 8:50.
It's not 10.
What?